with Benton and Associates. Our office is 804 West Jackson here in Macomb. On the 21st, we met at the Glenwood Pool and noticed that there was an additional gap between the existing pool wall and the concrete deck. And with our findings, we wrote a letter that's dated April 23rd to Mayor McWhistlet, and I believe we copied the director of the Park District as well. In that letter, item number 1 says that the north pool wall has approximately moved an additional 2 inches, which now is creating a 3-inch gap, which typically there was always been a 1-inch gap. It's been there, but it has definitely moved additional. Also, there, item number 2, that we noticed that there was some existing wall ties that had either been pulled out of the existing connection or has actually broke. The third condition, the PVC filtered water return piping. If everybody remember last year at about this time, we were out there and we were repairing it. With this movement, I'm sure it's broke once again. We cannot see it as of our meeting. But with this movement, the PVC pipe, I'm sure it's going to be broke again. So there will be that replacement and maybe some additional work there. Underneath the pool deck, item number 4, we can tell that the gutters return back to the filters. Likely has a coupler there, and it has actually moved. We can see where the evidence is that it had moved, and it appeared to move about the same distance the wall above had moved. So without getting into some demolition there on the 21st, there is potential some extra work that's there that also is not need to be done or corrected that was not visible at the time. With that, we talked to Red Benton, our structural engineer at our office, and of course my boss. The temporary repair, we talked about that, and we feel that there is ways that we can temporary and get it open for this year. And we provided those costs in the next paragraphs. Until we open it up, we don't know how extensive it's going to be. So that's why there's that wide range at this time. And in those temporary repairs, it is, as we said here, it's going to be a coordinated effort because we're going to have to try to pull that wall back a little bit, take the material out, and fix it as it's being filled back out. So that's why there's the coordinated effort in several items to get this put back as best we can. French, you got anything additional to?
If I could, Reg Benton from Benton and Associates. The thing I would want to remind this group is that from a structural stability standpoint, when the pool is empty is when it's the most vulnerable to this kind of movement. So actually during the swimming season, when the pool's full, you have more of a balanced situation where the water and the structure behind it and or the earth behind it would be counteracting each other. So during the winter time or early spring is likely to be the time that you would have the greatest chance for this kind of a problem to come to light.
Are you thinking that part of the wall that's going out needs to be removed and replaced, or just the surface of the deck, part of that removed to be able to get down there? Or do you know yet?
Some of the deck's going to have to be removed so we can see more, and then we can answer that question better, I feel.
At this point, the problem's not completely defined because it wouldn't be worth using some of the non-invasive equipment to try to find the answers to this, it would be more cost effective to do the demolition that would have to be done to repair it, to discover the extent of the problem. We believe it would be, our best guess is that it would be similar to the problems that you encountered last year, with the exception of the additional movement at the surface. And we think that that could be repaired in a fashion that's making it watertight and not a hazard to the swimmers, and wouldn't have to involve very much structural repair. But in the future, if this park pool is to be used, our recommendation is that the park district would probably have to take some additional measures and try to keep as much water in the pool during the off-season as is possible, minimizing water in the pipes and stuff as much as possible to avoid aggravating some freezing conditions there that might just move the problem from one location to another.
I'd like to ask, I know that the words temporary repair are in quote marks all the way through the document. How temporary are you seeing that?
Our crystal ball is probably not much better than yours is as far as to the real causes of some of this movement. It's our general belief that water got behind the liner, probably in a freeze-thaw action, wedged itself. Ice forces are extremely high. Anything we can do to make that more watertight. We would not anticipate that you would be back doing the same repair next year, but as to how long beyond that, there are so many unknowns associated with this pool inside of the pool that it's difficult to say for sure. I'm sorry that wasn't a more concrete answer,
So to speak.
No, I think you bring up a good point. And that was on my, I just wrote that down before you mentioned it, Mr. Benton, that I know I've seen other facilities that during the off-season, the pool is partially filled, and then my recollection is that there was either railroad timbers or logs.
Well, could you explain your full reasoning behind the motion to say that you're going to pay for the pool this year and repairs, but then close it indefinitely for next year?
Explaining my reasoning after a session like that is going to be difficult. However, we all know that this pool has come to the end of its life. A citizens committee told us a year and a half ago that that was the way it was. We deep down understand it. The folks at the Park District understand this. But we keep hoping against hope that we don't have to deal with this. A friend of mine said, you know, with certain contracts, you get a grace period. You know, you get 1 year to get out of it, as opposed to getting shut down right away. This is a grace. What I'm shooting for is a grace period. Let's get the citizens a pool one more time, and then let's cut our losses. During that year, we can go out and we can try to find someone to do a study. We can put it on the ballot, see what folks want to do, because it's got to go to referendum no matter what. You know, this is not a great time or a great economy to put referendums out there, but it will determine how serious and how deeply people want a pool or an aquatic facility. I don't know. I mean, that's still to be determined, but we have to get this over with. At one point, there was a 3-year sunset in there. That got kicked out. I just want us to come to the realization we've got to deal with this, and I'm trying to get us there. We'll know next week after we talk about it some more as a city council.
Excellent. Thank you. What are your feelings on spending the money to open the pool again this year?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious I wasn't real crazy about the idea. I think it's a very antiquated facility, and it's time to cut our loss and move forward with planning of the next phase.
And how do you feel about saying that you're definitely not going to open the pool next year if you pay for it this year?
Well, I think that's something you have to judge next year. If we do some repair work this year, who knows? Maybe it'll last us. It's all unknown, and that's part of what we're dealing with.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.